point. My specific point is I don't understand what he's doing in the Middle East. I understand what he's doing with regard to Ukraine. I don't understand what he's doing with regard to the genocide. I don't understand what he's doing with regard to the Houthis. And I don't understand what he's doing with regard to Iran, because these are all losing policies. He would have been much smarter to force Netanyahu to stick to the ceasefire, which would have meant no fight with the Houthis, and he would have been much smarter to work out a deal with the Iranians. But getting involved in a shooting match with the Iranians and with the Houthis at the same time you're supporting a genocide does not make sense to me.
Well, I suppose one might say that in order for it to make sense, one might go and read your 2007 book called The Israel Lobby, because I do think, at least for me, my big concern throughout the 2024 campaign and then the election was, and I had a very similar idea toward that as you did, which is I thought the ceiling for Trump could be higher, but the kind of floor could be lower. Whereas I just thought Kamala was going to be a disastrous continuation of how things were. And my concern was that, one of his biggest donors was Miriam Adelson, and he said openly in the campaign, Sheldon and Miriam Adelson, Sheldon when he was alive, but they were the people who came most to the White House, other than people who worked there. They were there the most. And every time they were there, they would ask for things for Israel, and I would always give it to them. And he kind of joked and said, they would come back 2 weeks later and ask for more. And I would say, come on, guys, give me like a few weeks of breathing room. And he boasted that he gave them the Golan Heights, which was more than they even asked for. So, and he said during the campaign, we're going to make Israel great again, and we're going to make America great again. And then he also, as diverse as the cabinet is in many respects, the one litmus test that everybody had to pass in order to be appointed to any kind of significant position was kind of indisputable, unbreakable support for Israel. And I'm just wondering whether you think this is coming from him himself or the kind of influences around him.
Well, I think obviously the influences around him matter. You and I both know how powerful the lobby is, so there's no question that he's getting pressure there. I don't think Trump cares very much about the future of Israel. I think Trump is an America First president. I personally think what's going on here, I can't prove this, but my sense is that Trump is pursuing a radical agenda, as I described. And there are a lot of very controversial issues at play on that agenda. And it does not make sense, given that agenda, for him to pick a fight with the lobby over Israel. It's just much easier to let the Israelis do what they want, make the lobby happy, don't get any flack from people in the lobby, and if anything, create a situation where the lobby supports you and it doesn't get in the way of pursuing your radical agenda. So I think that by and large, that explains what Trump is doing.